Hey guys, this is Jason Marsden. I voice Max Goof. Hey, if Max were here, he'd say, hey, check it out. My buddy PJ just told me about this great new podcast that I should listen to. It's called the St Canard Files, a Darkwing duck podcast. Oh man, let's get dangerous. Sounds like a blast. I'll listen to it right after this Powerline song ends.
Today, we are presenting you guys a new episode of Darkwing you guys have never heard of, and it is called The Case of the Housewife Hero. Welcome to the St Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana, and...
I'm Mike Russo, and by the way, watch your step, Will. There's some screws loose in here.
Safety first, Mike. Safety first. Oh, man. So, Mike, man, what's going on, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. You know, Will, I wanted to ask you, I want to go back to what we talked about last week. Have you caught up with WandaVision at all?
No, I haven't yet. I've only watched those first two episodes still. I've been watching a new show on Netflix, but it's not on the US Netflix. It's like Brazil Netflix. It's called Suits. I'm kind of hooked on that right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll give WandaVision a check out this weekend. I've heard good things about this fourth episode. So
yes.
So I may struggle through the third episode. I may struggle some in this third episode because I'll be honest with you, Mike. I don't like it so far, but a few friends of mine who didn't like the first 2 of the 3 episodes told me they finally got something that they enjoyed with this fourth episode.
Yes, the fourth episode was really good, but it's impossible to talk about without spoiling it.
Yeah,
by the time this one drops, I think they'll be on like episode 6, 7, maybe 8. But
okay.
As of this recording, yeah, I can't reveal what happens because it would spoil it for you. The other thing I wanted to ask you, because I've been marathoning this show on Disney Plus. When you were younger, did you ever watch the show Dinosaurs?
That was the show that was on TGIF for a while, or a little bit, right?
Yes.
I remember watching a few episodes here and there. I don't remember anything bad about it, but I also don't remember like really getting hooked to it either.
It dropped on Disney Plus less than a week ago as of this recording, and it's getting a lot of press for actually holding up a lot better than people thought it did.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm marathoning it now. It actually holds up well. I would recommend it if people are looking for something to watch and just want something random, and especially if you're a Henson fan, I would say definitely give it a shot. I was very attached to it. It was airing around the same time as Darkwing Duck was, so I was watching that and Darkwing around the exact same time. I recommend it. It's just I was wondering if you had ever seen it.
I've seen it. I don't remember too much of it though. I do like Henson, but I'm not a Henson fanboy.
No,
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it's fine. It makes total sense.
Okay. Yeah, Mike. So today we are going to talk about an episode that may surprise you. That it is top 10 for me.
That did surprise me when you told me that.
Top 10. This episode definitely fits in the top 10. And Mike, there's an episode that might surprise you that's not even top 20 for me.
Yeah, you told me this one too, and I was just as surprised. Which one is that?
Darkly Dawns the Duck. I don't hate that episode. I just never been crazy about that episode, man. I got to go back and look at my scores that we gave that episode. I don't even remember giving it a great score, to be honest with you, but I don't think I trashed it either,
I think that early on we weren't as, I don't want to use the word honest, but we weren't as thoughtful about how we talked about the episodes because you never let on all that time ago how you really felt about the episode. We were both pretty positive about it. So I was surprised when you said that to me.
Yeah. I don't want this episode to turn into Darkly, but yeah, Darkly has never been in my top 10. So I guess that made room for this one. And maybe Something Fishy. I've always loved Something Fishy. Something Fishy is probably number 10.
You're a Neptunia fanboy.
Oh yeah,
that's really it. You know what we should do, and it's, if we don't get around to this, listeners, I apologize. Maybe if we could locate the hour-long version of Darkly Dawns the Duck, the actual TV special version, maybe at the end of the podcast we could review that, the whole actual movie version of it.
I have the VHS. Is that the whole hour one?
Yes, I do too, but I have no way to access it.
I might still have my VHS player. It might be in the attic. I might have to check.
There's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there was many things we could have said about the episode that we didn't. So there's an idea.
Okay, so Mike, what episode are we talking about that I'm so excited about that's in my top 10?
Inside Binkie's Brain.
Oh yeah. Now you enjoyed this episode too, right?
I do. It's a really good episode. It's very
clever. Not top 10 for you.
No, it's not. I don't even know how close it is to my top 10, but it's not top 10. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. I do really love it.
Top 20?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It's a good one though. It's a really good one.
Now I know Negaverse is your number one.
Yeah.
Is Justice Ducks in your top 5?
Yes.
Okay. One day we need to probably at least give our listeners our top, maybe 15. One day we need to break down and give them at least our top 15 episodes.
I think that's how we're going to wrap up the podcast. We have some ideas. I think we should definitely do stuff like that.
All right. So let's get into this episode, Mike. Inside Binkie's Brain, and what's our production and air date order?
This one aired Monday, April 27th, 1992. It was 68th by production number. Our story editor was Kevin Crosby Hops. We're almost done with him. This is the second to last episode as story editor. The writer is Doug Langdale. He's almost done writing for the show. He's going to jump up to story editor pretty soon. This is his last great Darkwing Duck episode. I think this might be one of his best. And I've mentioned it before that Tad always said he was the best Megavolt writer. That's definitely apparent in this episode. Definitely.
What's his last episode?
His last episode, I think, not sure. I think it is I think it's Slime Okay, You're Okay, or no, I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Not sure. I'd have
My
to go
bad.
back
I put you on the spot. My
Slime
bad.
Okay, You're Okay was a different writer entirely. I don't remember what his last episode as writer was. I'll have to look into it.
Okay. All right,
and animation was Wang again.
Wang.
I think this is Wang's best Darkwing episode out of the 4 of them they did. They did Slime Okay, You're Okay in World History. Out of all of those and Darkwing Squad, I think this is their best one. The character drawings are really solid. The colors really pop. It's a good one. This is definitely... I kind of wish Wang had done more Darkwing episodes. I really do.
Yeah.
I like this. Their stuff is
This one looks good. This one looks good to me, man.
Their stuff is very good. I like it a lot.
All right. So are we ready for our plot? We ready to dive into it?
I'd say so.
All right. So we start off. We got a new villain, Mike, who's going to make a few more cameos.
That's all I have to say. He's one of the show. This guy is the show's best running gag. We meet Dr. Slug for the first time.
Yeah, and he has DW and LP. They're pinned up in the alley.
Yeah, and he's cackling. He's riding some sort of scooter with like a syringe poking out of it and a giant buzzsaw. He looks pretty imposing. And right when it seems like they're done for, Will, what does Darkwing do?
He yells, "Stop!"
Everything grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
And that's it for Dr. Slug.
Yeah, that's it. Now, really quick, off topic. Not off topic, but off this episode. Dr. Slug is in the Joe Book series, right?
Yeah, because again, Dr. Slug becomes a running joke. They go back to him in about 3 more episodes, and he's mentioned a few times in the comics as well.
Okay, because now I haven't read the Joe Books, but I did the little fan through it, to see what's in it. And I saw him really quick. I was like, hey.
And he's basically a running gag. We never going to see him again in animation, but the characters keep mentioning him like he's like the most powerful foe Darkwing's got, even more dangerous than Negaduck. He keeps being mentioned as Darkwing's arch enemy, but you never see him.
Okay.
So when he does show up again in dialogue, we'll mention him.
Yeah. So Darkwing yells stop, and he freezes time, kind of like Zach Morris and Saved by the Bell style. And
can we just say rest in peace to Dustin Diamond, who passed
wow.
away like 2 days ago, I think, as of this recording.
Hey, what a coincidence! I brought that up, huh?
Yeah, we lost Screech.
Yeah. Okay, well, he yells stop, Zach Morris style, and then he starts reading fan mail, but it's not really fan mail, Mike, at all.
No. He's writing a letter he wrote to himself.
And he brings up an interesting case. It's called the case of the housewife hero.
Right, because someone writes to him asking what makes a hero, unless he wrote to himself.
Of course,
which is possible. Yeah. Well, he decides to introduce us to the case of the housewife hero. Mm-hmm. As if it's not obvious enough by the title of the episode, who's the housewife hero?
Binkie.
Okay, so we're in the Muddlefoot's backyard. Well, what's going on in their backyard today?
Herb. He's back there. He was grilling, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he was grilling, and then Binkie, she was like taking care of the lawn, I think. And then something happens with the wires, all the wires and stuff he has connected.
Yeah, he's actually cutting the lawn with a weed whacker and then trimming it with a barber shaver.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got too much plugged in. It starts a fire, and Herb has this great line after Binkie puts the fire out. He says, "Would have been a darn shame to burn down the house again."
Again, huh?
Again.
Yeah, and then Binkie cleans it up, and we hear her for the first time saying, "Now, safety first."
Yep. Get used to that.
Oh yeah. So she goes to the side, Mike. She decides to go run to the garage, but Herb is trying his best to stop her by yelling, but it's too late.
Yeah, she just praised him for cleaning up the backyard, and he didn't really clean it up. He just shoved everything in the tool shed.
Yeah. And then once she opens it, it's like an avalanche.
Yeah, and down comes the bowling ball, and just before it hits her head, Darkwing stops time again.
Yeah, he stops it, and they decide to go inside her brain, and he starts lecturing Launchpad like how the brain actually works and all the doors that are in there.
Yeah, this is really clever. This episode, has basically an A plot and a B plot. The A plot's the main story, and the B plot is every time Darkwing and Launchpad stop time to talk about the brain and the little hero. Which everybody has a little hero in their brain that once in a while gets knocked loose and turns you into some sort of hero.
Yeah.
So that happens with Binkie when the bowling ball hits her in the head.
Yeah, so she finally gets hit in the head, and the knight in her little hero, the knight, is loose. He's out. He's out and about of his little, I guess his little jail cell that he had behind the door.
Yeah,
in her brain.
Locked up behind a jail cell. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Herb wakes up Binkie, and Herb says, "Safety first."
Yeah, my motto will be safety first from now on, and that gives Binkie the idea. From now on, she's gonna make sure to keep St. Canard safe.
Yeah, she's gonna safety-proof the city.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, she starts filling in potholes. She inspects traffic lights. She had the vacuum where she was cleaning up all the trash and stuff.
And that's when she vacuumed up the dog.
Yeah. Oh man. Now who voiced the lady that was with the dog, Mike? Was that the same?
I'm going to assume that was Susan Tulsky because there's no other female voice actresses in the credits.
Okay.
I mean, it must be, right? Unless it's someone who didn't get credited. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then, okay, it's Megavolt time. I mean, he's the reason Megavolt's in this, obviously. He's the reason I like this episode so much. I think this is the last great Megavolt episode of the Disney Afternoon era. He's going to be in a couple of other ones coming up, but this is his last great one. He's at a jewelry store.
But he's not doing that type of heist.
No, he's not robbing the jewelry. He is unscrewing light bulbs from the display cases, lining them up on the floor, and telling them to run and be free in the wilderness. Like, that's Megavolt in a damn nutshell.
Yeah, but then the DW and LP show up.
They do. They show up, and Megavolt takes a run for it. He runs out of the jewelry store. Binkie, this is really great timing. This is actually pretty funny. Binkie comes in and scolds Megavolt for leaving the door open. She shuts it just as Darkwing and Launchpad run into it, and they smash flat against the glass. Really great stuff.
Yeah, and then DW starts informing her how she let Megavolt get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he mentions something about costume and heroes, and then light bulb goes off in Binkie's head.
Yeah. She runs off screen, comes back wearing an outfit. Oh, she got gloves, boots, and a few other things, a helmet. What's her superhero name?
The Canardian Guardian.
Champion of safety.
Yeah, so she starts, I guess safety, doing the city, but she's also hurting people at the same time. She jumps down a rooftop and closes the sewer top, but when she closes it, it hits the construction worker in the head.
Yeah,
Yeah, then she causes an accident by trying to get a nail off the street because it would have gave somebody a flat tire, but she crashed everybody there.
Yeah, when you look behind her, there's a gigantic multiple car pile up.
And we got Megavolt. He's still in the city. He's still saving light bulbs.
Yeah, he's trying to unscrew the light bulbs from the theater marquee.
Yeah.
Darkwing shows up at the top of the ladder that Megavolt's using. He gets an entrance, the only one in the episode. I am the burned out bulb you cannot reach. I am Darkwing Duck. And then Megavolt goes, you mean dead meat duck? And Binkie shows up, bumps into the ladder they're standing on, and sends them down the street.
Yeah, they start going down like this train track, and they hit like a tunnel wall.
Yeah. Really, really funny. I love this back and forth.
This part is hilarious. This part is hilarious.
It's always so funny. Megavolt goes, that lady in the cape almost killed us. You're supposed to protect people from nuts like that. And Darkwing gets up and he goes, I know, I'm sorry. I tried to stop her before, but wait a minute. And what does he say? He goes, I'm not supposed to apologize to you.
Oh, man, that part was hilarious, man. Because it is funny. He is technically apologizing to Megavolt.
I love it when the two of them have conversations like that. It's always really, really great. And then Darkwing gets hit by a train.
Yeah. And then we get a cutscene. It goes back to Binkie. She's cleaning up again. She's like mopping up some grease.
Yeah, before the scene changed, Megavolt said he was going to go after the Canardian Guardian and write her an obituary.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she follows the grease up to the top of a building, and Megavolt shows up and tells her she fell for the old trail of grease trick, as if it's something that everybody's aware of. The old trail of grease trick. I don't know. Have you ever seen that before, Will?
I've never heard of it.
He grabs her and he ties her to the top of a metal tower, which has a light bulb on top to warn planes. And he's going to electrocute her, and he notices the big bulb. He unscrews it, and she warns him that if you remove the bulb, planes can't see the building. And he's like, great, now I won't have to zap you. I can just let you get hit by a plane instead.
Yeah, and what plane is that? Obviously, now it's going to be a coincidence.
You tell me.
Oh, of course. It's going to be the Thunderquack. You got Darkwing and LP.
So Darkwing's narrating another just really, really great line. He says, unfortunately, the only one about to get hurt was someone very important to me. Me. Me.
But now they jump to somebody else's brain, Mike.
Yes, before they splatter Binkie all across the horizon, or whatever Darkwing says, they stop to look into Megavolt's brain. I love the little touch here. He snaps his fingers, and the top of Megavolt's plug hat flips open so they can climb into his head.
Yeah.
Really clever. Really clever.
Now, where his little hero inside his brain, what kind of door was it behind? This one was different.
Well, it was tied up inside a cuckoo clock.
Yep.
Oh, really morbid joke when Darkwing and Launchpad wake up in Megavolt's brain. They're sitting in electric chairs.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Really great joke. That's all they do. They go back to the story. Very short scene. They crash into the tower. Darkwing mentions his reflexes saved the day, but all he actually did was jump into Launchpad's lap and scream.
Yeah.
So
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Will.
I'm just gonna say they're attempting to save her because they hit the tower and she's falling down. So they throw like a grappling hook. Was it like a grappling hook?
Yeah.
From the Thunderquack? Yeah. But when they throw it at her and they try to toss her back to the rooftop, she comes back and lands on the Thunderquack.
There's something you don't see every day. There's a lady in a cape tied to that tower. So they crash. She's okay. They're injured. She's fine. And now she wants to get even with Megavolt for using cheap rope to tie her up.
But hey, Mike, we get a new sidekick here.
Yeah, she's like, I'll let you come along. You can be my sidekick.
And Darkwing's ego ain't taking that so well.
Oh no, he hates that.
And LP's trying to get him to embrace it, but it's not gonna happen. So while LP's excited about Darkwing being the sidekick, they jump in somebody else's brain now.
Yeah, Launchpad stops the episode and he's like, why don't we go into a sidekick's brain? Mm-hmm. We don't actually go into Launchpad's brain. They climb in through, what is it, like one of the goggles on his flight cap. Mm-hmm. And they're like, it's really empty in here.
Yeah, and a lot of loose screws.
That's what Launchpad says. And Darkwing's like, while we start our long search for Launchpad's little hero, let's get back to our story. You don't actually see what his brain is like. I would like to have seen it. Launchpad has a little hero in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So we cut to the bad part of town, which is literally on the other side of the tracks. Mm-hmm. My favorite thing about this episode is this great dialogue. Doug Langdale's such a great writer. Darkwing is trying to describe the bad part of town, but he gets stuck on the narration. He can't come up with more things to say. He's like, the sun never, it's always night, where crime runs rampant. And then he goes, and where people just they're really not very nice at all, really. He doesn't know how to finish the narration. Did you notice Megavolt's not driving the usual car he usually drives?
Yeah, he had like a old pickup truck.
I feel like that kind of suits Megavolt in a weird kind of way, like this guy driving around in an old pickup truck. It kind of fits Megavolt. Kind of,
yeah, but I like his other vehicle better.
Oh, I definitely do too.
Yeah.
So Binkie shows up and gets on his case about not wearing a seatbelt. Mm-hmm. And her choices are, you can buckle up, or I can do it for you. Megavolt chooses choice 3. What's choice 3?
Oh, he takes off, but he got to provoke Darkwing first. Oh, he provokes him bad.
He's like, it's the Canardian Guardian and her sidekick, Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, so he takes off, and then Darkwing has to take on these thugs, these hoodlums.
Yep. He tries and gets twisted into a knot. Mm-hmm. So who ends up saving the day, surprisingly?
Binkie, but of course, she did it by accident.
Yeah, but she beats them all senseless, again by accident. And so Darkwing comes over to her and asks if she could untie him. That's when they stop the story one more time to finally allow us to witness the wonder and majesty of
Darkwing's brain.
Yeah, so they go inside Darkwing's brain. What's his brain look like?
It's cluttered.
He says a cluttered mind is a what's he say? Is a productive mind or something like that. I forgot the actual words. But that doesn't matter because they go looking for his little hero.
Yeah, his little hero shows up and he has a quick announcement. He has a partner.
Yeah, the hero seems innocent enough, harmless enough, but his partner, who's the little hero's partner?
His ego.
Okay, check out this ego. It's this like 15-foot Neanderthal Darkwing with a lobotomy scar in his forehead. Because literally, Darkwing's ego is basically on a mindless rampage. Because isn't that true of Darkwing?
Yeah.
So it chases them around, and they decide to go finish off the story.
Yeah, and now they get a cutscene. We're back with Megavolt, and he has all these light bulbs tied up, man.
He strung them all up to the abandoned power plant.
Yeah, and he says something about that he's ready to charge them.
So they can go frolic in the wilderness again. He calls it the liberation of the light bulbs.
Yeah, and then Binkie dresses up Darkwing in a new costume that he could barely move in.
Yeah, all protective gear, including like an inner tube and a helmet. He can't move. You're right.
Yeah.
But
And
he falls down a cliff, and she admits if you didn't have that stuff on you, you'd get pretty hurt.
yeah, and then Megavolt starts the liberation of the light bulbs.
Yeah, Darkwing grabs the gas gun. He has a glue bomb, and Binkie tells him, you shouldn't play with guns.
Mm-hmm.
And the glue bomb falls on them. And Megavolt covers them all with glue.
Yep.
So what happens to Binkie? This is actually interesting. What happens to her?
Same thing that happened to her at the very beginning. She sees those loose plugs and stuff, and she decides to fix them up. She sees they're all loose, and then she gets shocked.
Guess what? The scene of her touching the wires and getting shot was cut out of syndicated and Toon Disney airings of this episode.
Really?
Yep, my bootleg set jumps from her walking over to the wires to everybody else watching her fall to the ground. They cut it out of the episode when it was on Toon Disney. Yup.
Yeah, I did not know that.
So the Disney Plus version was the first time I had seen it in a good 25 years.
Okay.
Always finding these edits, aren't we?
Yeah.
But because she got shocked, the little hero falls back in his little jail cell.
Yeah.
And she forgets what she was doing.
Yeah. And then we get what happened after that? I'm trying to remember.
Megavolt
lights up the city. It's
okay.
Like super bright.
One last really fantastic line. I don't know if it's funny written, like really well written, or it's just Dan Castellaneta. Megavolt goes, in a few seconds, this plant's gonna blow like, oh, I don't know, like something really big blowing up. It's so great. It's so great.
Yeah, and then the city gets so bright, we can only see their eyes. We can't even see the characters. And Binkie actually saves the day. All she does is just unplug his little light show. That's all she does.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you men, making such a big deal over nothing.
Yeah. So she technically does become the hero for this episode.
Yeah. Darkwing doesn't agree to it. He's very begrudging about it, but she's definitely the hero. She won. She helped them.
Yep. So now back to the Butterfoots. We got Herb grilling, and he knocks over the. Go ahead.
No, Binkie comes home and he hugs her, and they bang into the shed. Yeah.
Yeah, he knocks over the shed again, and who gets hit this time?
This time it's Herb. He comes back in a wig and a dress and sunglasses and starts dancing everywhere.
Yep. And we got a new episode. The Case of what, Mike?
The Dancing Dimwit. I'd watch that.
I would too. I actually would, man.
I want more Herb episodes. There are no more Herb episodes, but I wanted at least one more.
Oh man. So how did this episode end, Mike?
So it's over, but Darkwing's like, being a hero is not all about the costumes and the gadgets. It's about the purity of heart and the strength of will. Then he goes, but the costumes and the gadgets do make it a lot more fun. And that's it. The episode ends. Great little fast ending. Really, really funny.
Oh man, Mike, I love this episode, dude. It's just so hilarious. We get Binkie for a change, and it's not normal Binkie being just a typical housewife, and she's doing housewife things throughout the whole episode, but she's actually saving things, and then she's also destroying things. So it's really good to me, man. To me, it's a different change of pace.
This is the one moment Binkie gets to actually shine. This is her only real starring episode.
Yeah, man. To me, it's fun. It's a change of pace. We got Darkwing. He's trying to help, but he's screwing things up. He's technically is the sidekick in this episode, in my opinion.
And with Megavolt involved, Megavolt brings everything to a higher level just by being in the episode. And just the fact that we got Doug Langdale writing for him one more time, it really elevates it. This is one of my favorite Megavolt shows. Interesting, I didn't point this out before. This is the very last episode without Goslin in it.
Oh, really?
She has a very, very tiny cameo at the end of Jailbird, but I'm still counting it because she does appear. Otherwise, this is the last time she's not in an episode. So this is the last time Darkwing and Launchpad spend a significant length of time together without her.
Okay.
So we're about done with that kind of episode, Darkwing and Launchpad shows.
And for Binkie being the hero, I'm not saying Megavolt's a weak villain at all.
No.
He just works though. He works with her.
He works because he's funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, I can't, like, if Negaduck was in this one, it wouldn't have worked. Like, it has to be Megavolt. It just works.
Yeah. Okay, so Mike, let's do some scoring here, man. How many gas gun canisters you giving this episode?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I can't go full 5. I don't know why I can't go full 5. It's still really good, but it's just not one of the best. But because it's so clever in the way it uses the narration and the little hero stuff, and it's very meta, and of course Megavolt, I 4.5. I think that's a fantastic score. That's my score for it. How about you?
Okay, I'm gonna break our little thing we've been doing here. We've always done full scores and half scores.
Yeah.
But because this episode is really special to me and I really enjoy it, and it is top 10, I can't give it a 5. And I don't want to give it a 4.5. I'm going to go 4.7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 4 3/4.
I'm pushing here a little bit. I'm pushing here. Yeah, so, I mean, I just like this episode from beginning to end. Launchpad's hilarious. Megavolt's hilarious. Darkwing's hilarious. Binkie's hilarious. Herb for his little cameos. Oh my God, he's hilarious. Especially that dancing scene at the end.
The dancing dimwit, yeah. And burning down the house again.
Mm-hmm. It's just the jokes. I don't know. I can't think of anything bad to say about this episode. I like it from beginning to end. Dr. Slug little cameo. It works.
Yeah, this episode gives us Dr. Slug. That's something. And even the animation's great. Like I said, I wish Wang had done more Darkwing episodes. If they all could have been this good, I wish they could have done more.
Yeah, this is definitely an episode that I wish more people would talk about and appreciate. I don't expect everybody to have it top 10 like me, because I know people want to make room for Justice Doug, the Negaverse, and episodes like that. So, and Dry Hard. I don't have
Dry Hard. I cannot believe. Again, going into this, I did not know how popular that one was.
Oh man, that one's super popular.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and Darkly Dawns the Duck just doesn't do it for me, Mike. It's not a bad episode, but I've just never been a huge fan of it.
Oh, that one's not in my top 5 either.
I even like A Brush with Oblivion over Darkly Dawns the Duck.
Depending on my mood, A Brush with Oblivion sometimes gets into my top 5 along with Negaduck, but it all depends on my mood.
All right, so
Mike, speaking of top 5,
yeah, Mike, what episodes next week, man?
Will you play with me?
Finally, Mike, we knocked out your favorite episode a long time ago. Yeah, we finally get to mine. Oh, yes, what episode is it?
The Haunting of Mr. Banana Brain.
All right.
Yeah.
And we got something at the beginning of the episode, a little treat for them too.
Yeah, this one might be a long one. This one might be our longest episode yet. We're not going to tell you what the treat is. Tune in to listen to it, but it's going to beef up our episode quite a bit. So we're looking forward to giving you guys this one.
And then Cracker Jack's in it. I'm not going to shut up about him.
We also have a very, very special guest voice, too.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite Darkwing Duck guest voices of the whole series is in this one. I like this one a lot, too. So we're both going to be very positive about this one. But this is your favorite. So
this is my baby. This is my baby.
All right. So everyone tune in next week to hear how that one turns out.
All right. Yeah. So Mike, man, for the people tuning in for the first time, where can they find us at?
Everywhere. Stitcher, Spotify, Google, iTunes, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. And also go ahead and listen to us on YouTube if you'd rather do that.
Okay.
I think that's everything. Do you have any shout outs?
I'm gonna shout out all our followers on our group, not our Facebook page, but our group.
Right.
I've noticed several people have been very active. I don't have the page in front of me right now, so I can't give their name. So I'll probably try it next week. But I want to shout out to all our followers on our Facebook group. We appreciate everybody being active, sharing things, liking things. I seen new fan art in there. I saw somebody create like a Darkwing logo that looked really cool, like Justice League or something.
Cool.
Did you see that? You didn't see that?
Yes, I did. No, I did. I did. It was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, man. So I've been seeing a lot of things on there, man. And shout out to Tiffany, man. She's been doing some amazing fan art. It's not even just Darkwing. She did something with horror films or something, and it was like the horror film dolls. Oh man, she posted it on Instagram. It looked really cool, man.
And you know what? I want to shout out. We might have shouted out to him before, but I want to shout out to Dominic Cantando. He's such a nice guy. He's always liking everything we post. He always has something to say, and he's like one of our biggest fans. And I just wanted to say hi to him and give him a shout out.
Yo, we made his day a couple of weeks ago, didn't it? Was it a couple of weeks ago?
Well, as of this recording, yeah, we're going back over a month once this drops. But yeah, we made his day. We showed up on a Sunday night to a little chat he was having, and it really made him happy. Yeah. We were happy to be there for him. He's a really nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're listening, Dominic, thank you so much for the love.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Dominic, man. All right, so, Mike, that's going to wrap up this episode. Next week will be the best Darkwing episode. No debate there. You can't debate it. It's a fact.
It is hard to argue with.
It's not subjective. That's just the way it is. It's the best episode. I said so. There's no votes in for that, but my vote is the only one that counts. And everybody, stay dangerous.
Ciao, safety lady. Good night.
Good night, everyone.